Hey everybody, it's NiftyBC here, and you have finished up the first part on how to set up the collection. Now we're going to show you how to set up the schemas and the templates and actually mint some NFTs. So that's what this tutorial is going to be on. So follow along. Like I said, you definitely want to have your NeftyBlocks account set up. Try to get it whitelisted as soon as you can. Fill out the process. If you scroll to the bottom of NeftyBlocks, you'll see a fact area, and there'll be a link there where you can start the verification process. Once you've done that, you'll be able to start making, like I said, your collection and your templates. And when we're making the templates, and I think you can make the templates and everything, it just won't go out to the main market until you are whitelisted. So I believe that's what's going on. So correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but I think that's how it's set up. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and head back to the computer now, and let's get on to the part 2 where we set up the schema, the template, and then mint a couple of NFTs. All right, so stay tuned. Oh, by the way, hit the like and subscribe if you could, because it really helps us know what you like. All right, here we go. All right, so let's hop on over to the computer. Before we do, hit the like and subscribe, guys, because it lets us know what you guys like and lets me know to continue to do this. So let's head on over to the computer. Let's go back to our main dashboard page of our collection, all right? Because we're going to create some schemas and templates so that we can mint NFTs, okay, guys? So first thing you could do, you could go to mint, I think directly. Let's see here. Oh no, they definitely want you to start a schema. Okay, so you can definitely do this, but you're going to want to create a schema first. And you can go either right there through mint NFTs or just go directly here to schemas and templates, which that's what I'm going to do, is create my first schema. And a schema is basically, you're going to define the attributes that are going to be on there. You're going to name the schema, and that way we have everything ready to go for people to, you can customize this to add like a video, or you can customize it to have a certain hash. Maybe you have music, whatever it might be. You'll be able to create those attributes on this page. So first thing we're going to do is create a name for the schema. Now the schema, it only works with letters, digits, and dots, I believe. But you can have, I think, a longer name for the schema. So for me personally, I'm going to be calling this M.O.R.B.S. Oh, that's right. See what it tells me? I haven't done this in a while. So, and have capitals, guys. So make sure that you're not doing any capital names. So I'm just going to call this one M.O.R.B.S. Verse. And M.O.R.B.S. Verse is going to be a metaverse that I'm actually working on. I created something called Waxapalooza, which is a VR gallery for wax artists, and we've had over 100+ artists in there. And I have a new thing coming called M.O.R.B.S Verse. So I'm going to create this template because it's going to kind of contain a lot of that stuff. Okay. Now the first predefined attribute that you're going to see here is name. It's just going to be here, guys. You have to have a name at least. Okay. And the attribute, obviously, you want at least an image. Okay. Now that image, you'll be able to put in an image or an IPFS hash here for video, let's say, but leave it here at image for image, and make sure that it's written with IMG. That seems to work the best. We're going to add another one here, and this one, I want to call this, let's call this one video. I'm going to create a schema, guys, that's going to have the things I'm going to need so that I can use it for multiple different templates, even though I might not use every one of the pieces of the schema. Okay, guys, I know that seems a little strange, but I just do it that way. It makes it faster so I can keep things a little bit more organized. So anyway, in here, I'm going to put in video. I think it was video that we have to write in there. And we're going to make this an IPFS hash. Okay, now we're going to put in a description. Okay. And that's going to be text. Okay, it's regular string text. Okay, and then I'm going to also put in an AR, because I do most of my stuff has augmented reality, and I will put in sometimes an AR asset as a back, like a back image basically for the piece I'm putting up. And so the AR asset, I'm going to actually make that an image as well. That usually is what it's going to be. I could make it a video as well, but I usually put just one video and then have the AR asset be something different. Sometimes I put the QR code actually on the video, so I might not use this all the time, but I put it in there anyway, just to make sure I have it there. I'd like to add a rarity attribute as well. Actually, I keep it all lowercase. I think it looks better when it's lowercase, actually. Asset. And yeah, leave it right there. And then the rarity, that's going to be a text string as well. And then we're going to put one last one, which is the series. And I put that as well. Put a series down here, and this is going to be a string as well. So there we go. We're going to have our name, the image, a video if it's a video, a description, an AR asset, which is kind of like a back image, a rarity. Actually, you know what? I'm going to change this AR asset because you guys probably won't be using AR asset. Let's just make this a back image. And the way I'm going to write is BACKIMG. And that's just going to be our back image file. Okay, so let's say you just have like a back, like you want to put maybe a logo or some information on maybe your company or your project. You can do that on a back image. So let's do that instead. Okay, I'm going to use it for AR, but you guys can use it for whatever. So this is the rarity, the series, the back image, description, video, image, and we look like we are ready to go. We're going to call this schema M.O.R.B.S. Okay, guys? And let's hit create schema. Now it's going to bring up a authorization for your Wax wallet. And boom, we got our first schema. Okay, and this is the M.O.R.B.S schema. And I think it's, let's go back one. Okay, so you see it here. Let's reload it. So I don't think it pop right up. Yep. Okay. There it is right there. It doesn't have any pictures on it yet because we don't have any templates yet. So we're going to create that template. So now we have our schema. Okay. Now that schema basically is creating the slots for this template. Okay. Now we're going to go with a new template. And I'm going to tell you, you have the ability, let me go back here really quick. It's going to tell you have the ability to mint here without a template. And you can do that. I don't recommend that. I recommend always using templates to control what you're putting up there. It's a very good habit to be in. So always just start off with a template. That's going to bring up this, which is that schema that you just created. So you have your name, your image, video, description, back image, rarity, series, what we just created. Okay, so now we just got to fill this out, and that's going to create our preview over here. Now, the first thing you want to do is create your max supply. Now, on this first one, I'm just going to make this just an infinite amount max supply. Okay, this is going to probably be a cheap. I'm going to probably put this up for really cheap tomorrow, just for people to be able to pick up and just have a piece of this tutorial. They'll be able to actually buy what I'm making here so they can see it, how it looks in their wallet, the whole thing. Okay, so I'm going to leave the max supply to 0, and that means infinite. But let's say I only wanted 100, then you would put in 100, and that would cap it at 100 pieces. But like I said, I don't want any cap on it. It's going to go infinite, so we're going to have an infinite supply here. Okay. The name. So let's start off and load this stuff in. Let me find out where I just put everything. Okay. All right. Let's put in the title of this NFT. And this is Quantum Employee of the Month, Mailroom, Peter Plex. Okay. And this is the description. I'm going to go ahead and copy the description and put it right here in the description area that we created. Okay. That was for text. And now the rarity for Peter Plex, this is just a common card, okay? Because I'll probably just give these out as like I don't know, just, you know, just like a thing to give out. And the series on this is going to be Quantum Staff. That's what I'm calling it, okay? Quantum Staff. So that's the series. We got a rarity common. The back image, I'm not going to have any back image on this one. This one's just going to be just the image by itself. And I'm not going to have a video on this one as well. So these two, I'm just going to leave those blank. But Later on, I'll be doing some that will have video and back image. So that's why I created those in the schema, just so that they're there. But what I do need to do is get the main image over here. So this is where we go back to where we were earlier on, which was pinata.cloud. And you go ahead and upload now the image that's going to be the actual file. Okay, so let's go over there. I think I put it. All right, so this is the piece that I'm actually going to be using, and I just upload that. And there he is right there. So now what we're going to do is copy that same hash right here. Let's go ahead and hit copy. Go over here to NeftyBlocks and put it in that image space. Fill that in. And over here, it's going to pull it up. Just give it a second. Sometimes it takes a second for it to pull up because it's pulling it from another server and it has to load it into its server. So just give it a few minutes, guys, and it will load in, especially because I think that file was, yeah, it was about almost 2 megabytes. So give it a second until it kind of load in. And like I said, we didn't have a video here, so we don't need to put anything there. We didn't have a back image either, so we don't have to worry about those 2 slots, but we can fill in everything else, which we did. And we left it at a max supply. Okay, so let's just wait for this to come in and then we will move forward. Sometimes what I do too, I go back to Pinata Cloud and I click it and load it in here. And for some reason, it seems to sometimes load it in faster over here. Just a tip, okay? But there it is. There's Peter Plex. He's our Employee of the Month mailroom over at Quantum, the factory that built the M.O.R.B.S. Okay, so this is it. We're about ready to mint our first template. Okay, guys. So again, max supply. There's the title. There is your IPFS hash from Pinata Cloud. Okay, remember? And then we didn't have a video, didn't have a back image. We did put our rarity in here. This is a common rarity, and this is Quantum Staff is the name of the series that I'm doing for my project M.O.R.B.S. Okay, so now we're ready. Hit create template. Hit approve. And we should have a new template. When this is all done, you'll get a, actually I got to prove one more time. And there you go, template created successfully. And there we go, guys. It's loading it back in. And there we have it. We have our first template, okay? Now, when you go back into the template, as you can see, everything's locked in, really nice. It even has a link directly to the IPFS hash, which is really helpful as well. And as you can see, there's no assets down here, right? So if you go down here at the bottom, you're going to have 2 little great options down here, which is the mint NFTs and the lock template. Now, the lock template means that let's say you've run this for a while, you just don't want any more people minting this. You can just lock the template and it's done. No more people will be able to mint it. It will lock the supply, which will create that scarcity for the creators the people that hold that as well. So it's nice. It's a good thing to have. And then we want to mint NFTs because we don't even have one asset yet at all. Okay. So I'm going to mint right now. Now, even though we had a max supply, remember we set the max supply to infinite. Okay. So as you see, it pulls up this the file. Okay, it shows you all the template properties, and it's going to ask you. Okay, see, you got down here. I forgot also because it's a new collection. You're going to have to load in more RAM. Okay, so let's do that. Let's buy some RAM really quick for this, and I was going to put in 25 wax. Okay, all right. So it gave me a little bit more RAM, and now I'm going to mint. Oh, actually, I'm going to mint. Let's start off with 100. Yeah, let's do that. Let's start off with 100, I think. We'll do 100 to start, okay? And let's mint those. And let's go down here. It's going to bring up all of them. Hit OK. And it's going to do 50 at a time, so it's going to probably ask you for a couple of transactions, guys. Let's go back over here to the templates and schemas again. And if you click over here, now when you get over here, you'll see that you have 50 made here. If you go into the template, you'll see it as well, is that we've issued 50. So there's 50 that are available. All right, so we have those 50 guys. So now we have 50 in there that are ready to go. I think what I'm going to do is go back over here. And now what we're going to do is create a drop. But before we create a drop, we're going to have to load in some RAM here for the drop as well. So let's do that. Let's load in. I'm going to put in 25 wax again, I think. That'll probably give me about 317. Maybe put 50 wax. Let me put 50. 50 is a little bit better. Let's put 50 wax in. All right, guys. So we have minted that first template in our new schema. So if you go over to schemas and templates and then click on that new one, you'll be able to see that template we made. As you can see, we already made 50 of them down here. You can click in if you want to check the details, make sure everything looks right. And there you have it. There's everything. And there are all the assets that we had created all the way down. All right, guys. And so now what do? Now we have these minted. Now you could start, you could just transfer these to people if you wanted from this point, but really you want to make this a drop. And the reason you want to do a drop is that way it's going to pop up on your drop page. It's going to pop up on your collection page. And we want that to happen because we want you to make sales. So the first thing we want to do is go back here to create. This is like your edit collection area. And as we did before, we saw the schema and templates, right? What we're going to do is do Nefty Drops. Now, before we do that, we have to make sure that we have RAM to make sure that those drops go through. Now, if you go down here, scroll down a little bit, we'll see all the RAM that we have right now. Now, Nefty Drops RAM, we have nothing. Okay, so we have to make sure we put some in. So I'm going to just start off with, I think, 50 wax. 50 wax will get me about 601 NFTs. Actually, I'm going to put 100 wax in there. That gives me 1,200 NFTs, okay, with that 100 wax deposit, okay? That's how many I can mint using the Nefty Drops, okay? So it'll ask for your transaction approval. Go ahead and do that. And as you can see, now I have, I'm loading up my RAM on these different parts of what we're doing. Now, I don't know if you need atomic drops RAM. I don't think we're going to need to worry about that because I think that's only for atomic hub drops. And I don't think you need to worry about that anymore now that Nefty's doing it this way. So just make sure your Nefty Drops RAM is loaded here and you should be good to go. All right. Now what we do is go over here to Nefty Drops. Okay. Now when you go into Nefty Drops, it's going to ask you this the first time after you've created your collection is add authorized account. Now we have to do this for us to be able to make the drops. Go ahead and click it. It's going to give you an approval transaction. And there you go. Now we're ready to go. Okay. Now we got our created drop, and then we have pre-minted pools. Now these are your two tabs. Now remember yesterday we created 50 mints already. Okay. So I'm going to create a pre-minted pool. Now what's the difference between a pre-minted pool and a regular drop? Okay. On a regular drop, if I create this, okay, let's say I create this, right? There's this option over here at the top that says pre-minted. Okay. Now if I don't click this, okay, and I add a template right here, what it's going to do is that as people come in and buy it, they're going to get the next mint number. So in other words, if I put this up and no one's minted anything, the very first person would get mint number 1, the second person mint number 2, and so on and so forth all the way up. What's good about that is that, if you're fast with the fingers and you're there on time, you'll be able to get it. What's bad about it is that not everyone is available at the time of your drop. And let's say someone is at work, they're not able to be part of that drop, but later on they want to be part of that drop, but now they feel like they won't be able to get a low mint. Well, pre-minting actually solves that problem because what it does is that we're going to be basically pre-minting like we did before. We created those 50 mints. So those are pre-minted, okay? So we're going to add them to a pool and then add them to this drop so that it randomizes who gets what. So in other words, if you're the first person to buy this particular NFT, doesn't necessarily mean you get mint number 1. You might get mint number 50. So, and then it also gives the ability for the person that's late to the party, right, that they can come and buy and still have a chance to get that mint number 1 or a low mint. So it kind of makes it an even playing field because we also deal with guys that use bots. And once you've been in the NFT game for a while, especially using like Wax or some of the bigger drops, you have guys that use these computerized bots that buy up everything before people can get there. So that's why we pre-mint stuff, guys. It's kind of an easier way to do it. But you have to have a pre-minted pool. And if I click that pre-minted and I hit add asset, you'll see that I have M.O.R.B.S. Oh, I do. I have that. Wait, will allow me? Okay. So even though I created those 50, right? I just want to make sure that this will pop up a warning. Okay. So even though I created those 50, right? For this particular NFT, the Quantum Employee of the Month, Peter Plex, it says no pool found for asset. So in order for us to make a pre-minted drop, you need to create an asset pool. Okay. Now you can do it right here. Okay. Which is okay, but it's easier just to start off with the pool. So go over here where we go back. So remember we started off here, go to Nefty Drops. It's going to give you those 2 tabs. We want to go to pre-minted pool. Okay. Now you're going to go add to pool. Okay. Now let's go pull up that schema. That's M.O.R.B.S schema we created. And now let's pull up that that particular one that we made, right? And there's already 50 there. So you can see it pulled up the numbers already. If you go down here at the bottom, hit all, you'll be able to see all 50 are there, okay? From top to bottom, all right? Awesome. All right, now we're ready to go. We can just add these to a pool, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and click that, right? All of them are selected, so we're going to add these 50 to the pool. We hit add selected. Wait for that transaction approval, and there it is. And there you go. Okay, so we have now put those 50 assets into that pool. So now they kind of disappeared from here. So let's go back to drop pools. And you might not see it right off the bat. So I hit, okay, refresh by itself, but sometimes you might have to hit refresh. So there it is. There's our 50 pieces. They're in the pool, right, for Peter Plex. So now we can go back to drops, right, the drops tab. And now we can create a drop. So let's create that drop. Okay, this time we're going to click pre-minted, okay, hit add asset, and then what you got to do is find that template. There it is. Okay, now this is the one we just made, and you can see now it says current pool size 50 because we created that the drop pool for this actual drop. Okay, so now we're ready to go. Now we can just fill in the rest of this, and give me a second to pull that up. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill out the rest of this. So now we got a pre-minted pool in there. Now we're going to put in the name. Now this will be the name of the drop, which I'm just basically putting the same information that I had put in to the actual template. All right, so all this will go in here. And now we get into the fun stuff. Okay, so we got our description, our name. We got that template that we were going to make it use with the pool size. And now we got to figure out how much are we charging? What are we going to do with this? Now you can always make it free, guys. You're always welcome to do that. It's good for promo and all that stuff. But like I was talking about the bots earlier, sometimes you have to be really careful because those bots will look at drops that are coming. And if they see something free, they'll just nab it all up. And you don't really end up having collectors get it. You end up having a bunch of bots getting it, trying to resell it. So I do suggest always putting some sort of a price to it. Wax is pretty low right now. So I'm going to do this for 5 wax. So for 5 wax, all right, you guys can get the Employee of the Month card. And it's going to go to this wallet. This should be the wallet that you want it to go to. Now you can split the revenue on this now. And I'll go over another video on how to do that later on. But right now, let's just worry about the basics. So you can list it also in different currencies. I should make that obvious too. So not just wax, but you can also do this in dust, Nefty, because Nefty has its own coin, Tokium, Blue, Ken, Guild, AWC, Taco, Shing. They got a lot in here, and USD. All right. So when the market, as far as pricing, I usually try to keep it in wax, but if the market's so super up and down, I will price in USD. If I have a definitive number that I want to hit. But right now it's cheap. And like I said, this is a promo for me. So wax 5 wax is going to get you this piece. Okay. Now on the limits, the max claimable, okay, is 50 because that's how many were in the pool and that's how many people will be able to buy. So max claimable should equal the same amount as your pool size. Okay. The account limit. Okay. So that means how many can one person buy? I'm going to tell them that they can buy up to 10 every time they want to purchase. Okay. Now, after they buy that 10, I want to put a cooldown of 25 seconds. So after they buy 10, they would have to wait 25 seconds to be able to buy another 10. That way you just, again, going back to the bots, if it's the same bot coming back and back, it would slow it down a little bit. Okay. And then we do our start date, and I'm going to do my start date for tomorrow. I'll do Tuesday drop. Why not? Let's do a Tuesday drop. And I'm going to do that at noon. I like to drop mine at noon, high noon, right? High noon. I like to do it. And that's in Pacific Standard. And down here, the secure drop and the high drop features. Okay, so the secure drop, I'll make another video on how to do a secure drop. This is basically, again, going back to bots, this lets you create a whitelist and also a private key that only certain people will be able to get to the drop. All right, so that's a good thing. And then the high drop hides this particular drop from the main drop list that happens where the bots usually try to find it. So if you have a real special thing, you can send it to just the people that you know would actually benefit from it. So that's what all this is. So let's go back and let's do a double recap. So we got our pre-minted, make sure that's checked. This is our schema. There's our pool size of 50. This is our name. That is the description. We're pricing this on wax for 5 wax. It's going to my wallet. That should go to your wallet if you're making it. The limits, there's 50 max claimable, which matches my pool size. Someone could buy up to 10 at one time, and then there would be a 25-second cooldown after that. And then you just put in the date, which I'm doing mine tomorrow and at 12. Okay. And like I said, we don't have to worry about secure drop and high drop right now. We're just doing a basic drop. And then after that, you just hit create. And we wait for that transaction approval. There it is. And boom, we have created our first drop. Now, drop is visible. See right here, it says this drop is visible and the drop is public. So that means that anybody will be able to see this drop. And they'll be able to purchase it from there. They can get it also from your collection page. But let me show you how to get there. So right here from the template, if you hit these 3 dots, you have some options here. You have the view drop page, manage drop, view claims, high drop, delete drop. Okay, so first, let's go to the drop page. Okay, so this is what the drop page will actually look like. So this is your collection page. And remember in the beginning, I was showing you can kind of customize it a little bit, right? So here it is. It's ready to go. And this will be on our drop page. And this is the actual drop for this. So wax is so cheap right now. It's $1.39, guys, for this. Super, super cheap. So go get this. It's going to happen tomorrow. All right. You'll be able to buy it. If you go back to your drops over here on the left, this is your collection page, like I said. So it's only going to bring up the stuff in your collection. And there it is. That's our first drop right there. This is our... All right, guys. So that's how you set up your schema, your template, and that's how you mint your very first NFTs. On the next video, which comes on after this one, we're going to start working on packs. So now you know how to mint an NFT. Now we're going to show you how to mint multiple NFTs, put them in a pack, and then be able to put that out as a drop to sell to your community. So stay tuned for that. Remember, guys, hit the like and subscribe so you know when we put up new videos. And remember, every Friday we are doing the NFT Circus podcast at 4:20 Pacific Standard Time. So hopefully we'll see you there as well, too. This week we actually have, I believe, Wax Blockchain on, as well as Yoshi Kondo, who is an amazing music producer and the man behind Yoshi Bucks. So hopefully we'll see you there. All right, guys? So see you in the next video.